Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Raj here, and today we are going to be recording, as you can see here, iOS 14 Developer Beta 4. Now, you guys may notice the date on my MacBook, and the reason why I'm actually late to this beta is because I've just had so much going on for the past few days that I couldn't exactly stay on top of it all, because I only run this channel by myself, and I edit all this stuff myself, so I am doing it today, and hopefully I can get this video out to you guys as soon as possible, but without further ado, let's get started. So, as you can see here, there's my home screen, and let's go to my software updates, and it'll be just 1 second, there it is. So as you can see there, it comes in at 556.3 megabytes, which is not bad actually. That's a pretty small update. So I'm going to install it right now and show you guys, and I might just keep this all in one sort of clip, that way it's not, you know, just dragged on. Then there's the terms and conditions, I will agree to those, and then now it is just updating, or it's requesting the update, and then it will install momentarily. So we now just wait. Can't wait to see all of the new features. But looks like, okay, here we go. So we have about 1 minute remaining for it. So let's see here. So actually, you know what I might do is I might do it like normal and just cut the video so that it's not as long as like past beta videos have been, because we're also going to be conducting all of our usual tests. So I will be right back once it is done installing. Alright guys, we are now back in iOS 14 Developer Beta 4. So without further ado, let's just enter the passcode here, and I will show you guys what is brand new in this Developer Beta. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. And we can get right in. So let's just confirm that my widgets are all intact, from what it seems like they are, which is great. Great to see that. Alright, sweet. So that is all working as expected. Then there's all of those. Actually, that's a nice thing too, is that the widgets are loading in a lot faster. Let's see here. So it looks like for the calendar, that's there, screen time is there, shortcuts is there, batteries are there, that's there, maps is there, news is there, weather is there, which is great. These other two news panes, looks like it's all starting to load in, which is awesome. Those have not quite loaded in just yet, but that's fine. And then in terms of that, okay. Those two widgets are still there. Sweet. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to go to the, let's see, where is the page? I'm trying to find the, here it is. So we're going to go to the feedback app and basically go through like what's new with this developer beta. So let's see here. Oh, looks like that is that, okay. Alright, now here we are. So some known issues with this are that updating to iOS and iPadOS 14 from previous versions might take significant longer than expected. Data loss could occur if the update is interrupted. So obviously this was not interrupted, which is great. macOS Big Sur 11 beta or Xcode 12 beta might be required to sync or update devices running iOS and iPadOS 14 beta. It was not, which is good. And then some resolved issues were that 3D Touch is now available. So 3D Touch was previously taken away from compatible devices like my iPhone 10 here, but now it is restored, which is great. And I can just demonstrate that for you guys now. So that's haptic touch, that's 3D touch. So as you can see, pressing hard on the screen, that works. And then just kind of tapping on the screen like that also works. But yeah, 3D touch is indeed back, which is amazing to see there. But let's keep on going. So the App Store no longer quits unexpectedly if full keyboard access is enabled, which is great. Some known issues are avoid calling present code redemption sheet, whatever that is. That's a developer thing. More developers thing there. That's all developer stuff. If you guys want to read that, you guys can pause the video. And then the exposure notification. So this is for the COVID-19 app, if you guys were unfamiliar with that. Let me show you guys what I mean. Let's see here if I can find it. Yep, here it is. So this is the COVID-19 app that Apple has developed in tandem with the CDC. So that's basically now, in terms of their exposure notifications, that's now back, which is great. Fonts, some known issues are beginning in iOS and iPadOS 14 beta. Fonts installed using configuration profiles are only available to apps supporting the font APIs. And entitlements introduced in iOS and iPadOS 13. If your app provides a custom font selection interface, it can no longer access fonts installed via configuration profiles. For reference, see the WWDC 2019 session font management and text scaling. So that is for those people there that needed that information. The home screen, app library section headers are now positioned as expected, right to left languages, so that's great. Some known issues are apps installing using Xcode might not appear in the recently added category of the app library. Apps which you've chosen to offload might unexpectedly reappear in recently added category of app library. Spotlight might not appear as expected. The workaround to that is to restart your device, so let's try Spotlight. Yeah, Spotlight seems like it's working, which is great. And I'm also going to turn on Do Not Disturb so that we don't get notifications coming in, like that one. Okay. Now, localization. Some known issues are certain languages might exhibit clipped or misaligned layouts. Let's see. Certain languages might display unlocalized text. And then there's all of that, just key value observing. It's all developer stuff. Alright, let's move on to Mail. Some known issues are Mail can't currently connect to SMTP servers that support only auth login command. Mail can't currently connect to, whatever that is. Microsoft Exchange and Outlook.com accounts don't display an error if the wrong account is typed in, account type is used during login. Sorry about that stutter. The workaround to that is to use the Outlook.com type for Hotmail and Outlook.com accounts, and the Microsoft Exchange type for Office 365 accounts. So what was resolved in Beta 4 also was the mark block sender is no longer disabled after updating, which is great. Maps. Some known issues with maps. Let's see. After updating to Beta 2 or later, user data such as favorites, collections, and recents no longer syncs with devices running earlier versions of iOS and iPadOS. And some things resolved in Measure is automatic person height measurement using iPad Pro 12.9-inch 4th generation and the iPad Pro 11-inch 2nd generation is now available. That's the device I'm using to record this face cam on. Some known issues with maps is maps might quit unexpectedly when launched. Workaround is to turn off maps in settings, Apple ID, and then iCloud. Let's try it actually. Let's try going into maps. It doesn't look like actually that it's quitting, which is great. Let's see here. Resolved in iOS and iPadOS 14. In terms of networking, custom user agent request headers no longer sent to connect requests to HTTP proxies. So that's nice. Notes resolved in iOS and iPadOS 14 Beta 2. The pen tools no longer activate unexpectedly while typing with a Bluetooth keyboard. So that's nice. Phone and FaceTime. After using FaceTime with picture-in-picture mode, your video no longer pauses, which is great. That was a very, very annoying issue that I was having with Beta 3. Some known issues are that Control Center indicates phone is using the microphone for calls placed over the cellular network, but indicates system for calls placed over Wi-Fi networks. Some known issues with shortcuts is automations might not run if they're scheduled immediately one after another. Siri, some known issues are searching for timer and tapping a suggestion to start a timer doesn't start a timer as expected. Software update resolved in iOS and iPadOS Beta 14. Your device now updates properly, which is nice. Then that's in Swift UI. Don't need to go over that. Resolved in iOS and iPadOS Beta 4. That's more stuff about Swift. Third-party apps. Some known issues are apps using JSON-Kit might quit. That's just, again, more developer stuff. Wallet, more developer stuff. So widgets. Let's go on to these. All widgets must be rebuilt using iOS and iPadOS. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, most of this is just developer stuff, honestly. So I'm not going to go over all of that, of course, because that would take way too long. Resolved, quick actions no longer appears behind the widget overlay, and then there's just more stuff there, of course, that pertains to developers. Xcode, that's for developers. Accessibility, that's just, again, more stuff for developers. Location services are now available. This was from beta 3. So that was resolved in beta 3. Yeah, so really all of this so far is just going to be beta 3 stuff, which we are not going to talk about because beta 3 was last beta. So we definitely don't need to talk about any of that. Okay, so as far as that's concerned, that is done. So now let's run our next test, or run the next test, which is going to be the shortcut test. So let's run my Siri shortcut here. Okay, let's repeat it. And let's keep on repeating it until it's cannot repeat any longer. Then after that, I'm going to try the dismiss part of it as well. Looks like it's working pretty nicely, which is great. It's working a lot better in iOS 14 than it was in iOS 13. In iOS 13, it was crashing a lot. Oh, nice. It had a nice little check mark there. That's cool. All right, then let's try the dismiss option. Yep, that works. Okay, sweet. So the shortcuts are working. So now let's go on to our next test, which is going to actually be the Wi-Fi test. Now for this, I'm going to, put it on my best network. Sorry about the hiccups. But let's see what kind of Wi-Fi speeds I'm getting. So a ping of 8 milliseconds, that's not bad. Looks like the network is going at about almost 200 megabits per second for download. It's pretty close. And I'm going to run this 3 times because this can be, just kind of inaccurate sometimes. It would take multiple tests in order to confirm this. So it looks like we're getting a download speed that's a solid upload speed of 22.7 megabits per second. So upload speeds are pretty solid. Download speeds are also pretty good too, but they could be a little bit better. Let's see here. Oh, looks like this one is going a little bit slower. Interesting. Because, see, that's the other thing you have to also consider, too, is that there might be some interference going on between my iPad, MacBook, and even my phone that would result in slower Wi-Fi speeds. So, because normally I get around, like, the 300 margin, but, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, honestly. These results can change with time, so really it's just depending on what Wi-Fi provider you have and that kind of stuff. So the update doesn't necessarily throttle your Wi-Fi speeds at all. So that is something to also keep basically in the back of your head. And yeah, see, it looks like it now is actually going a little bit faster. So, I mean, the results will vary. Yeah, and it looks like download speeds are actually going, upload speeds. I need to stop mixing up the two. Looks like it was going a little bit slower there for a second, and it might still be going a little bit slower. Yeah, so it's like 22.3 this time. So it's going to vary, basically, but I ran the 3 tests, and they seemed like they were pretty consistent, but kind of like, eh. So that is that, and now let's move on to our next set of tests, which is going to be Antutu and then Geekbench. So let's wait for Antutu to launch, and then we will just, go through everything that it has. Alright, now it's going to test the GPU, so just wait for that to launch. Then you guys will see a live feed, of course, on the screen here. My face cam will kind of overlay it, but, But yeah, so far, actually, on the actual device itself, it's running at a pretty solid rate, I would say. Now, the back of the phone is still pretty hot, but it is running at a pretty solid rate, definitely. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any, choppiness, which is good. So it seems like the performance from this beta actually might have improved, which is amazing. Considering my phone is almost 3 years old. It'll be turning 3 this November, at least in terms of when the actual model was released. Now, when I got my phone, I got that December 22nd, so that's when it will turn officially 3 years old, for this one specifically. I got mine a little bit later, about a month later. So, actually a little bit over a month. But it looks like now it's just rendering out all of the frames. So it looks like that is now complete, and now it's just moving on to Coastline, which is the next test. And of course, you guys can see it up there on screen as well, but I'm kind of just, showing you guys here and there what it's going to be looking like. At least like from the phone's perspective, from what I'm seeing. Looks like there was a bit of a jitter there. And it may seem a little bit jittery for you guys on there, of course, because it is a little delayed, most likely. There's probably maybe a millisecond of delay, so that's why I'm every once in a while showing you guys it on here as well, just to give you guys a bit of an accurate perspective. But yeah, I can confirm also it's connected to my computer via a wire, so it's not wireless. But now this is the hardest test, Terracotta. This is the one that really puts my phone's CPU to the test for some reason. And it's already actually pretty decently warm, which is to be expected. So it looks like the flag is doing pretty decent so far. The butterfly's animation is pretty decent as well. Looks like it's starting to get a little bit choppy. Actually, a little bit better, though, I will say. It is definitely a little bit better than even Beta 3 was. Yeah, so it's still a little bit choppy, but it definitely is an improvement, I would say. I'm definitely seeing a little bit of an improvement. Even though it's very, very minor. Yeah, it's a minor improvement, I would say, in terms of performance. Or, well, GPU-wise at least, not CPU, because it's right now using the GPU from the A11 chip. Yep, so it looks like it is pretty decent in terms of performance, which is interesting. Alright, now it just has to render out all the frames, of course, which you guys are seeing on screen. I'm seeing it on my own screen. Okay, let's see here. Yep, so it looks like it's actually doing this at a pretty decent rate, which is great. Alright, now it's processing fisheye. Interesting. And it just got done with that. Okay. Now it's going to test the memory speed. Looks like it's at 48%, which is great. Now it's just testing random access. It's now testing storage. All right. Let's see. ROM sequential read. All right. I don't know if it's me or not, but it seems like it's going maybe just a little bit faster than it was on Beta 3, which is quite interesting. It's definitely also not getting as hot as well, because my phone on Beta 3, after it got done with this GPU test, it was steamy hot. This, it's only kind of a little warm. So I think they also fixed that overheating issue as well. Because I did actually have a few cases where my phone did overheat while I was filming a video, while I was filming the paper-like video. I was actually recording it with my phone, and it did overheat. So that was definitely an issue. So I'm sure that they've corrected that now, which is great. It's great to see. And I'm kind of just keeping this finger on the processor as well, just to make sure that it's, staying within reasonable temperatures. But this case also definitely helps too. This case, since it has wood on the back of it, it definitely does help with heat dissipation somewhat, which is good to know. It's definitely a lot better than my OtterBox was a long time ago when I used to have that, and it's a lot thinner, which is great. It means that it's a lot better to hold my phone. It's not this big, bulky piece of rubber and plastic. Alright, let's see here. So, it looks like now it's just finishing up multitask, which is great. It actually moved on to the CPU while I was just talking to you guys. So that is great to see there. So now it looks like it's just processing the 3D physics engine. Nice. Come on, A11, you can do it. Nice. Alright, now it's already onto the UX. Sweet. Yeah, I think it's actually a little bit faster, at least from like what it's showing. I think my phone definitely has sped up. Yeah, because now it's at 86%. That's pretty crazy, actually. I think performance has definitely gotten way better. And yeah, by the way, this is just, it's randomly scrolling to test the UX, so it isn't me doing that. So I'm just going to show you guys this since it's doing that. Just to show you guys that I'm not actually doing it. But yeah, I do find it pretty interesting that it's actually getting better, which is great. It's great to see performance getting better. Now, I will say also, though, with battery life, it was like kind of mediocre with Beta 3, so I hope it is going to be a little bit better with Beta 4, but we'll have to see, honestly. Yep, so it looks like it's now just going through that picture there. I think it's, yeah, gonna come up with that one now, and it's gonna want to crop it. This test is a little weird, actually, like for the whole UX thing, but I mean, it is what it is. So now it's just testing the QR codes. So I'm just going to now face my phone this way so that you guys can see the nice cameras. I mean, yeah, I will say this dual set of sensors is still very, very nice. I still take pictures with it, and it's still great, honestly. But I still can't wait to hopefully upgrade and see those new sensors. Those new sensors are going to be a lot better. Not saying that these are terrible at all. I mean, they're great still, but, you know, it can still have a little bit of improvement. And there's the score. So CPU got 64,908, GPU got 60,728, the memory got 38,663, and the UX got 33,656. So let's see what that means in terms of ranking. All right, let's see. Looks like it just has to load here. But that is quite nice, actually. Let's see if it actually bumped up my phone, though, in terms of score. So it looks like it's still in 23rd place. I'm not sure if that's an improvement from last time or not, but what is the average iPhone 10? Looks like it's 26,791. Yeah, so it's still going to be a little bit dwindled in terms of performance, only simply because my processor, or not processor, sorry, my battery is like at this point. So, alright, well, that was Antutu. So now we are going to test Geekbench, but I'm also going to show you guys here the battery as well, which actually, yeah, as you guys can see there, there's the exposure notifications. So it looks like, yeah, the battery is still at service, and it's still at 79%. So, yeah, I'm going to need to get it serviced. So it looks like, yeah, that was not just a Beta 3 thing. It needs to be serviced. Fun. But, yeah, you know, it happens. I just need to get a new battery for my phone. So, yep, now it looks like it is running Geekbench, and it's already off to a great start, I will say, which is great to see. So, yep, looks like we are already like a 12th of the way finished, and it's not even been 20 seconds. That's great. That's really great. It's breezing through all of this. And which it should. I mean, the iPhone 10 is still a very decent phone in terms of performance. The A11 still crushes most Android phones out there. But in terms of the battery, though, I mean, if your battery is degraded like mine, and if you've had the iPhone 10 ever since its launch, then yeah, it's probably about time you get a new battery. I mean, it's been a few years already, so... I mean, I would say I could probably get by with maybe having the rest of this year with this same battery, but as soon as an Apple store reopens, I'm definitely going to book an appointment and get a new one, because, yeah, I mean, this battery is just, you know, it's terrible still. In terms of like how long it lasts, especially on these betas. Now, before the betas, it was decent, but now it's just kind of like meh. And I'm sorry, I accidentally exited out of that, but this is actually going, wow. I don't think that this is real, because it's already halfway done, and it's already at a minute. What? Is this supposed to be happening? I feel like there's something that quite interesting here in terms of performance, because from what I remember, this took at least 5 or 6 minutes to complete. And we're already almost at 2 minutes, and it's already almost done. What? Okay, I'm actually interested to see what happens now, because, like, wow. I'm saying wow at this point. It's already almost been 2 minutes, and we're already almost done with the test. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I think this has honestly gotten a lot of massive performance gains. Wow. Wow, this is incredible, honestly. This is just incredible. I think Beta 4 is genuinely better. And not just better, it's a whole lot better so far. Wow. That's amazing. Let's see, now it's just running HDR. Now it's running ray tracing. Okay, nice. Wow, it finished ray tracing pretty fast. That's surprising. And yeah, my A11 chip, like that's right here, still on this phone. I mean, it's still not even that hot. It's just lukewarm. Wow, it's just a little warm to the touch. It's not even that bad. Yep, looks like we're closing in on 3 minutes. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad at all. Yeah, because the previous test, it took 5 whole minutes. Now it's only taking up to like 3. This changes everything. Wow. This is absolutely insane. Now it's just running speech recognition. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but this is definitely a lot better from what it looks like. Yeah, now it's running machine learning, and then yeah, that was its final test. Wow. Okay, so it got a single core score of 892 and a multi-core of 1,966. That's actually not that bad. Yeah, that's not even far from average either. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's not terrible at all. And then same thing with the multi-core. Not even that far off from average. Okay. And it looks like, yeah, it brought back that thing as well for all these other devices. So in comparison, the multi-core score on an 11 Pro Max on average is about 3399. For the average iPhone 10, it's about 2366. Mine is about 1966. So, I mean, not as good, but it definitely is an improvement. Now, in terms of single core, let's see here. So 892 is actually not that bad at all. Because, yeah, the average iPhone 10 is at 918. Interestingly enough, the iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone 8 is ahead of the iPhone 10. So that's kind of strange. But as you can see there, 892, yeah, not bad. Even for like a battery that's at 79% in terms of its degradation, I mean, hey, that's not bad at all. So that is pretty awesome. And if you look at the history here, yeah, it's miles better than Beta 3. Because this is the results from Beta 3. 517 and 1030. That is complete garbage compared to this. What we just got today. That's insane, guys. That's absolutely insane. So, yeah, I mean, benchmarks aren't necessarily everything, but yeah, I mean, that definitely shows improvement. I mean, if you look at the menus here as well, even just like scrolling on the home screen, it's quite snappy, I will say. So, I mean, yeah, even scrolling through like the widgets here, scrolling through just about everything actually feels quite nice, which is pretty great to see, actually. And yeah, that's just search there. But yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much concludes this video. I mean, I will say, if you guys have been on the fence about installing Beta 4 and if you're on the developer program, by all means, go ahead. I mean, for me, the update's been awesome now so far. So performance is great so far in terms of the benchmarks, and I'm sure that it will be quite nice in the future. But actually, though, before I go, I do want to show you guys the battery life I've been getting from the last beta in comparison. Because, yeah, it's been terrible. Now, if you see my charging habits, you can see that I've had to charge it about 3 times a day. So I charge it right here in the morning-ish for a little while. Then it stays charging. Then it significantly drops. It took about 55% from YouTube, apparently. And then it continued to drop. It took another 72% from YouTube. Then Snapchat took about 54%. YouTube, 92%. And then I was charging again. YouTube and Twitter were connected to the charger. All of these were connected to the charger. And then YouTube, again, takes 46%, which is crazy for the audio. And then let's see here. YouTube, again, 45%. Notes, 36% in the background. That's terrible. And then if you look here, YouTube, 45%. Instagram, 31%. Just insanity. And then this is between 12 a.m. and 1, which is pretty much close to now. Obviously, my phone is charging because it's plugged into the dock connector on my computer. But obviously, here we're using it a lot less. And then if you go to the very end here, let's see here if I can select it. Just let me select it. There we go. No. Okay, there it goes. But then, as you can see there, we have all of these apps. All of them are connected to the charger. And now, if we look at the last 10 days, I've been using close to 300% apparently in terms of battery usage. But in terms of the average screen on time, it's been about 8 hours, 37 minutes, and 2 hours and 5 minutes. And while it is connected to the charger, FYI. So that's not on battery power. That's on it being connected to one of these power packs that I have. Yeah, I mean, I have to carry these things around basically wherever I go. I mean, if I am not carrying around... oh, oops, I accidentally yanked on that other one. It was plugged into its charger. But let me just unplug it here. I'm just going to set my phone down for a second so I have both my hands. But if I were to leave without these, my phone would be dead. So that's how much I rely on these two little power banks here. They honestly get me through the day. So, like if I'm using my phone a lot, which I always am using my phone a lot. So that is basically what has been happening there. But yeah, so basically it looks like all of the widgets here are all loaded up, which is great, and my phone is at 82%, so it's charging pretty fast, I'd say. And then all of these looks like decided to load as well, which is great. So you have all of the widgets, which are awesome. Alright, but anyway though, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like. Also, comment and subscribe if you are brand new to my channel. I would heavily appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next one, which may or may not be a little controversial with some. So proceed with caution if you're watching my next video. Anyway, peace out everyone.